Dil Badal Day is proudly brought to you by Lifestyle Food and Home, your elite culinary destination.
मजा आ जाए दिल बदल दे मौला या बदल दे दिल की दुनिया दिल बदल दे या खुदाया फजल फरमा दिल बदल दे या हवा हिर्स वाला दिल बदल दे या मेरा गफलत में डूबा दिल बदल दे या खुदाया फजल फरमा दिल बदल दे.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're listening to Radio Ansaar on 90.4 FM in Durban and 105.6 in Durban's neighbor, Pietermaritzburg. Yes, it's the Dil Badal Day show brought to you every Saturday by Radio Ansaar and sponsored by Lifestyle Home and Ratio Cafe. Wow, it's Saturday again. And maybe you wanted to hear the other voice. Did you? The one that usually introduces the show? Well, don't fear. She's right here. So, Ms. Iman Joosab, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. So, do you think the people must...
I think they did.
Okay. Okay. Whatever floats your boat. I can say the same thing, okay?
Yeah, get on.
Now, we decided to mix it up today so that y'all get a little bit of a startle at, oh, is she today? Is she not there today? It takes two to tango. It's the dynamic duo. So, obviously. But let's say that today is a little bit different. So, that's good. But the topic is still going to remain the same. Now, if you're wondering what's going on, who are these voices? Let me formally introduce ourselves. My name is Faizal C. Joosab. With me in studio is Ms. Iman Joosab. We are family and marriage counselors, which means we get involved in relationship issues, marital disputes. We try to stop divorces and we try to make things all hunky-dory again. So when there's an issue, who do you call? You call us. That's essentially what it is. Now, it's not as easy as Chacha or Mama giving advice. It's a lot more intricate because sometimes there's a lot of water under the bridge, as with such. And the generic advice being, no, make sabr beti, and you don't be hard with her, she's a nice person, that don't work. So I know everybody means well, but they'll give you advice which is very hard to follow, because what about the pain and the hurt? What about the disbelief at how my spouse could behave so uncaringly? And that works both ways.
And that's what we were discussing today, that who you should go for advice.
The problem is nowadays, if you go to family, then they're not going to give you qualified advice. Furthermore, they'll give you partial advice. You don't need him. I told you not to marry him. Now, they came to ask you advice about the problem and you made them feel bad because you told them indirectly that they made a mistake and they're stupid. So, that's what parents usually do. I knew there was something wrong with this boy. I told you from the starting, don't marry him. But you didn't listen. You wanted your way. Now, your daughter's asking you for advice and you can't help yourself. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Please don't misunderstand. Please don't misunderstand. But you can't help it. I mean, look, if a surgeon is going to operate on his child, his hand is going to shake. You know what I mean? So he can't give the proper amount of, qualified discretion because the emotion plays a part. So who do you have to seek out? You have to seek out people that are qualified and at the same time have your best interests at heart and essentially want you to be happier. Now, there are plenty of professionals out there that do this. And that's why counseling has become a very go-to place nowadays, because when it's not making sense, you need to find somebody who can make rands and cents out of it. Anyway, so last week we spoke about trust, Ms. Ba. What did you think about last week?
Mashallah, successful show. We spoke a lot about trust issues and what happens when the first shock hits.
So trust is not only something that we can talk about in its infidelity situation, because a lot of people say trust was broken, but trust is also something that breaks over time. Because, I mean, think about it, right? What is trust? The dictionary will define it as a firm belief in the reliability, the truth, the ability or strength of someone or something. So, for example, we trust people who are benevolent towards us, like parents or siblings or family, relatives who have integrity. They usually do. and whose actions correspond to their words. That means they are
Basically,
truthful.
when you are happy with them.
Yeah. So they don't lie to you. They are reliable,
Mhm.
and they are somebody that is accessible. So you trust those people.
It's a positive environment around
It's
you.
a positive environment, like how children are supposed to be brought up.
Mm.
But now there's a question, Ms. But that always comes up. Women always ask this question, and I think you'll identify with this, is that, does my husband love me? What do you think about that?
That's a question woman should ask her husband every day. Do you love me today? Do you love me? You love me? I know somebody. She actually asked her husband, "What do you love about me today?"
What did he say?
He says very weird answers, because to find everything to love, something different to love about her, it's a bit hard. To answer her is a bit hard. So he says, "Okay, I like the way you cook. I like the way you dress today. I like the way..." It's just their relationship, and I think it's a very beautiful
I'm
thing.
thinking of a conveyor belt right now, a treadmill.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking of that? Let me tell you why. Okay, so how many flowers there are in the world? Let's just say roundabout figure. I know I'm wrong. 1,000.
Okay.
Right. So every day he has to give you a different flower.
Okay.
So in 3 years it's going to run out. So treadmill, which means now he needs to recycle it. So every day he has to come up with a new flower, which means I like your cooking. I like your scarves.
Mhm.
I like the way you dress. I like your face. I like your eyes.
You'll
I
run
like how
out
you
of it.
respond. I like your cooking.
But don't worry, she
I like
also
how you
changes her questions.
Okay.
What if I was a worm? Would you still love me? Or what you like most about me? Say your arms, maybe your eyes. There's enough questions for a woman to come up
If
with.
you were a worm,
Yeah.
let's go fishing then.
Okay.
What's the problem?
That's
Just
not
joking.
what husbands should answer. That's not how it should
No,
be.
you should answer it in a joking way. Then you'll get your thing. Stop asking silly questions. I mean,
No.
how the hell are you going to become a worm? What are you trying to prove here? You see what happens to people when they spend too much of time on social media. You know what I mean? Huh?
Logical, it does not mean that you cannot ask your husband these questions. You don't
Okay,
have to be
but no,
logical,
don't
technical
have to be
all the
logical.
time.
No, let's keep it fun.
Mhm.
So as long as you didn't say, I won't love you if you're a worm. As long as you didn't go there. Okay, fine. So as we are joking about it, but this is quite a serious thing. As men, we are made to be able to separate, our focus, our decision making pretty well. We stay logical, as she suggested. And it is almost like one half of your brain is for thinking and the other half is for feeling. And a guy thinking that his wife should be able to tell that she's loved, that means she should understand, he doesn't need to perfunctorily. Now that goes against what we believe, because we are supposed to be very transparent in our feelings as well. So you need to tell your spouse, men and women need to tell their spouses all the time that I love you. So if she doesn't feel love, it's the same as she isn't loved. What do you think about that?
Well, if she doesn't feel loved, then she'll ask you these questions. And if she'll ask you these questions, what's the best way to answer?
But you see, sometimes she doesn't believe. That's why she asks the same question
Yeah.
every day. So we're dealing with the wife's insecurity.
Yeah.
Right. Now, men, we take things for granted. If she doesn't love me, it's fine. Things are going okay. As long as she doesn't fight with me. This is how most men
You
think.
don't need to hear I love you all the time.
No.
Okay.
Right.
The wife needs to hear.
Yeah. So children don't gym, children play.
Yeah. And they
Does-
stay very
And
active.
they stay very active. Men don't ask that question. They just know. So adults need gymming. Children need playing. Men are secure most of the time. Right. Women are insecure. Men don't need as much I love yous, but it will be nice. It
Mhm.
will be good. But what really unsettles the whole situation is conflict. And conflict is inevitable. You're going to have two opinions, so you're going to have a fight. So this seems to be obvious enough, but any potential thing that could give off the impression that you're unhappy, it counts in this category. So you may not even notice that you have caused this until later on. So it's important to say and be careful how we say it. So in other words, it mustn't be inflammatory. Don't be personal. Talk nicely. Let the tone of the voice be calm. These are rules of engagement which we teach people in counseling, communication and conflict. So communication must be where you talk about the problem. Conflict must be if you express yourself, do not let it go overboard where the person is insulted by your expressiveness. Now, if you have too many conflicts, then what happens, Misbah?
Too many conflict means it's a red flag.
Mhm.
But how you sorting out those conflicts?
Now, you
That's
see,
also important.
conflicts usually are sorted out by compromise. Compromise meaning it doesn't go half and half all the time. Sometimes the person gives 100%. For instance, now I want to rest and you want to go out. So now there was a compromise. I said, okay, never mind. I'm very tired, but it doesn't matter. Let's go.
And we'll come back early.
We'll come back early.
Hmm.
But there was a compromise from my side. I could have said, no, I'm not going now. Then there's a compromise. Sometimes I said, see, let me rest, right? Give me about half an hour to cool off. And once I get a little bit of a second wind, let me take a small little
But
nap.
you know, when on the topic of that, a lot of ladies that comes, or maybe sometimes it can be men, but when they have trust issues, or maybe infidelity was involved, then if you say no in the same situation, say no, I'm too tired to go out, the wife will just automatically think that, you know what, he went out with her, but now when I'm telling him,
Oh, that's a
he's
whole different conversation.
yeah, that's a
But okay, but even if you don't have that debacle in
issues,
your
trust
life,
issues, yeah.
don't have that. That's really now. I mean, that's cancerous issues now, right? We don't have a common cold now, right?
Okay.
But where you keep your word, where you say, listen, give me half an hour and then we'll go out. Or if you say, listen, I want to go out, but I'm very tired. So let me deal with my situation and all that. So the compromise kind of builds trust that, you know what, we'll work on this together. So that's also a form of trust that builds. But if you fight a lot and you want your way, now sometimes a lot of people are entitled. They feel everything should go that way. This is something not permissible in Islam because you'd like to eat in Ramadan, isn't it? But Allah Pak said, no, you must fast. It can't go your way. So there's a reward if you sacrifice, compromise, or go with the flow. So if you give in to your spouse, then that would mean.
But that's a situation, as you said, it's a common cold kind of a situation.
Yeah.
It's not cancerous.
No, it's not
something very
serious,
dangerous,
right?
Yeah.
Another thing that creates distrust or kind of like breaks away is when you're away from home a lot. Like, you know, some people unfortunately have to travel a lot for work purposes, or maybe they're out of the house for long times in the day. They come home quite late because their business is closed late. So that because of away work obligations, if you are awake for quite some time, then it's a blow. It's a blow to your security. It's a blow to your love because you don't spend enough time together. And then obviously now walls are get put up and distances are covered. Am I right?
Okay. Can we read messages? Would you like to give contact numbers?
Okay, so we are live on Facebook if you'd like to listen in on Facebook. Otherwise, you can drop us a message, a WhatsApp message, the studio line 060 904 1056, 060 904 1056. And if you'd like to send me an SMS on my line, it's my line, it's my phone. Oh, sorry, our phone. 083 7789 314, 083 7789 314. Trust me, my phone is hers, her phone is mine. It's always ours. So send us an SMS on 083 7789 314 or WhatsApp 060 904 1056 on the studio line.
Okay, we have Sister Rukaya. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My Faizal Bhai and Bhabi and the Dil Badal the team. It feels good to hear someone say take care, but it feels so much better to hear someone says I will take care of you. I mean, being a mother is not easy. You still have to be a mother when you are stressed, depressed, burnt out, crying. Mothers are superheroes. May Allah Almighty bless all mothers. I mean, sometimes I just sit and think about everything been through, lessons, the pain, the growth, how I kept going even when I felt empty, how much you can survive when you stop waiting to be saved and start saving yourself. I mean, things change, life goes on, but some moments they don't fade away, they just stay fresh in your heart. Daddy's girl, I used to be his angel, now he is mine. Love and miss you, Dad. Company of good people is like waiting to a shop of perfume. Whether you buy the perfume or not, you are bound to receive the fragrance. Ameen. Allah Azza wa Jal. May my Faisal भाई and भाभी अल्लाह सुब्हानो व तआला आप और आपकी फैमिली को हमेशा खुश और सलामत रखे. आमीन. Sister Rukaya.
You're doing so well. It took me months to read that.
Okay, I was listening to you.
Okay.
Okay, we have another message. How you all awesome, mashallah, Faisal and daughter. Hope you are all well. Nice topic, always teaching us how to stay and pick up our head and work out our way. Jazakallah. I think this is from Sister Rihanna Sayyid PB.
That's from our Ma.
Mm.
We affectionately call her Ma.
Mm.
Okay, so you brought up a point there about post-traumatic stress. Like, you know, when you
Yes,
lose
yes.
somebody that is very close to you, like in this situation, Sister Rukia lost her father and he's her angel now. So sometime in post-traumatic stress situation, the wife will feel, and she'll have that distrust in her heart that my husband is not really there for me because maybe she lost her parent or she went through some kind of difficult stage and he wasn't there for her. A lot of women do complain to us about the time when she was giving birth and he wasn't exactly the best of people. Pregnancy, it was a hard pregnancy. He wasn't too available. He wasn't too accessible. He was always busy. So sometimes these mistakes happen.
He wasn't he didn't have empathy or wasn't sympathetic towards her.
Yes. So that possibly could also create mistrust, distrust. What do you think?
Yeah, but also, you know, what women women or men, okay, what they feel is the lack of commitment that they sense from their spouse.
Now, again, that could be distraction. Now, the man is very obsessed, and we all are, or men, we become obsessed with finding a way forward as far as finances
Providing,
is concerned,
yeah.
providing. So we need financial stability. We need to pay for the car. We have the banks that are sitting on our head, or perhaps even worse, we're owing a lot of people, and it's crazy. So we're not making ends
It's a lot of
meet.
responsibilities.
So then somehow we get distracted. So we focus on the part that we have to do. So then we don't have enough time. So that's what happens. And then it creates a post-traumatic stress situation that years later comes up when she says, you know what, I can never forgive you for how you treated me in the beginning of our marriage. And it's affected me. So we talk about that. And I remember this week giving a crude metaphor. I don't know if you will agree with this. I didn't even discuss this with you. But when a bomb is about to explode and you call the guy over, and the bomb expert, and he cuts the wires and he stops the timer. So the bomb is protected from blowing up. That means you're protected, you don't explode, and alhamdulillah, it's fine. Right? Cool. But who's going to dispose of the bomb? The bomb is sitting there, right?
The whole team that came to...
Yeah, so now let's say James Bond came and cut the thing. James Bond, the fictional joke that he is, right? Okay, so he comes there, he cuts the wires, and the bomb stops, and he saved the world. The bomb was going to explode and kill everybody in the world. Okay, so it got saved. But then who's going to get disposed of the bomb? Because that's still explosive TNT or explosives.
That's bomb team, the team that's supposed to...
So should it be removed?
Yeah.
Now that's what happens when post-traumatic stress happens, because nobody gets rid of the bomb. That means you don't sit down and talk about it.
Ticking time bomb is still there.
The ticking stopped.
Yeah.
But the bomb is still there.
Okay.
So in other words, now you have to start asking yourself a question by disposing of the bomb. Have I forgiven him? Have I moved on?
Okay, can I please disturb you here?
Okay.
There's a very nice message here. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, listening to you both speaking to each other with so much respect. When I speak to my husband, he doesn't listen. And if he does, he listens to respond. He has that defensive stance. Rashida, from Sister Rashida.
Sister Rashida, has your husband been brought up in that environment, firstly? Secondly, I don't know how long you're married, but your husband is not too convinced that you have anything important to say. Maybe he's been brought up where he disregards most people unless they're rich or seniors or relatives and all of that. So there's a selective few that he's willing to give that amount of respect. Furthermore, Sister Rashida, maybe you'll had a lot of fights, and now he looks at you as not somebody that he respects in that sphere. He loves you, don't get me wrong, please don't, and he likes you a lot. He wants to spend time with you. You'll have children, you his wife, but he doesn't look at you that somebody that has his best interest in heart. And that happens when there are too many fights or that bomb was not disposed of. That means when you say nasty things to him, please go back and tell him, see, I didn't mean it when I said to you that I hate you. Because sometimes men will actually believe it. They'll say, my wife said she hates me and now we must sweep it under the carpet and everything is fine and we had supper and let's go out, let's do shopping. He also gets hurt. So this is sometimes that you need to communicate with him. Sit down with him and talk to him. Talk to him and tell him that, listen, you know what? I didn't mean it. In a moment of anger, I made a mistake. You make mistakes. You've said nasty things to, haven't you? But why is it that when I talk to you, you give me one-word answers? You don't talk to me.
Sorry, 50 years married.
There you go.
A lot has happened in that.
A lot has happened, Abba. So what you do now, try and understand he doesn't mean anything by it, but he has become a person who's closed off. So what you do now, if you want to change that, right, where he doesn't, then what you do is be light-hearted with him, joke with him, and compliment him. Tell him, and he always will want to hear this. Now, I'm sure he's in his 70s now, right? So you'll be telling him, you might be in your 70s, but for me, you'll always be that 25-year-old that I married.
I'm so sorry I'm disturbing you. I'll disturb you again. She sent a message, and I think, I don't know if I can say that on there. She's saying he is the problem.
Men are always the problem, aren't they? That's what all women say.
He agrees that he's the problem.
Okay, then he needs help then. Can you get him to help? Can you get somebody to talk to him? If you can, then we'll sort that out.
Yeah.
It's
more complicated.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more complicated. But in the meanwhile, if you can start complimenting him. So if he's the problem, that means you the solution, isn't Auntie Rashida? So Auntie Rashida, speak to him nicely, talk to him nicely, comfort him that you are one of those few people in the world that really likes him. Never matter. It doesn't matter all the flaws.
Basically investing in your relationship. If you want him to listen to you, like how you want your children to obey you, you have to teach them and you have to make them like you. It's not going to work out where you're going to hit the child or discipline the child and just expect the child to like you. He might obey you, but you're not going to be the favorite parent. And you have to come to terms with him. If you want your husband to listen to you, you're going to have to make him like you.
Okay.
I think it's not about, most of the times it's about only about fighting and all. It's just generally you don't want to listen to everybody or obey everybody. You find one person and maybe your parents, maybe your sheikh or somebody, and you want to listen to them. But you just don't want to give your control to anybody else. And you won't do it until you like the person.
Well, liking is very important.
Yeah.
So that's it. All right. So we spoke about unresolved issues that unfortunately turn into post-traumatic stress. Then there's silence and withdrawal. Men hate arguing. As in this case here, I'm sure he doesn't talk too much because he says, what's the point of talking to her? She'll start fighting with me again. She'll find something to fight about. That's what men usually say.
So what do you think if you speak about trust issues and trust, we're talking about mostly infidelity, but as this message came, there can be more than that.
Yeah, you see, these are the small things because you got to remember something, right? These problems, these issues, they don't just come up overnight. It's not as if though distrust occurs only with one significant incident. A breach of trust, basically, it sometimes appears through several like smaller instances over time. A broken promise here, a missed deadline day, a pattern of unreliable, unethical, incompetent, or uncaring behavior. Meaning, he spoke a white lie here, which he thought is a white lie, but meanwhile it was a lie. Maybe he
As we
broke a
discussed
promise.
last week, he thought he was saving her, he was protecting her, but meanwhile it was something big.
So this pattern of unreliable behavior becomes a trend, and distrust doesn't just happen overnight. It develops progressively through these stages. So these are small little holes that start to now pierce through the fabric of love. And before you know it, there's a big hole there because all these pins starts now to tear at the fabric of love. So you start feeling that way.
Okay, so what if there are more than infidelity? Like you said, small things that makes
The
it
smaller
big.
things. So we're not talking about the big thing, infidelity, which is like a bomb blast.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the smaller things that erode trust.
Okay, so what about, okay, this happens a lot of time with ladies, but I've seen with men too, when they put kids first.
Yes, like this is a favorite question, and I'm telling you all beforehand, if you'll ever end up being our clients, inshallah, right? But most of our clients will tell us that we've asked them this question at some point.
Who comes first in your life?
No, who do you love more, your wife or your children? I'm a bit more blunt. So, furthermore, in a roundabout way, why do you love her? Because she's the mother of my children.
I know of somebody who takes his kids and all, and the wife is at home and they're very comfortable with this situation. She's okay, you take kids to his friends or gatherings here, there, and she does her own thing. Is that normal? Is that healthy?
Not healthy, but it's stabilizes because she needs a break from the kids and she needs a break from that. What most men don't understand is women are not strong enough to handle the current situation. Like, how many women do we know that can actually say, I'm managing, I got this? How many women?
It's very hard. Even if somebody says,
most women?
I'm managing in a sense where it's just
Barely
happening.
managing, right? So have you met women who say, I got this, you know what, my life is under control?
No. It's too much of stress for one person.
So what
because there's a sense of perfection that comes in every department of our life. We should be perfect wives, perfect mothers, perfect businesswomen, perfect best looking woman.
So basically you pressurize yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, right. So that's your own thing. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that men have this understanding that, you know what, if you'll just be a little bit practical, you've got to sort it out. Like when a man walks in and says, why is the kitchen unclean? What happened? And you say, no, I was very tired. You know, I had to look at the homework and I look at the kids. And then
that's the worst thing when you say, there was dishes.
Then he walks in and he starts washing the dishes. And he says, how long will it take you? Just 10 minutes. See, I got the sunlight good. I got the sponge.
I love that if a man does it. Please.
So he did once just to show
okay,
you.
Every day. Then that's
now, I never do that, right?
Yeah, because you know I'll make you do every day.
Okay, now that wasn't supposed to be said on air, now was it?
No, I will.
No, but look, if she's not managing, then outsource it. If you have to get a maid or two and all that, maybe if you can't get a maid or two, then pitch in, right, and sort things out.
But what is wrong with that? Rasulullah Pakistan came home and did his own work. And that's a sunnah.
Yeah. So,
and I don't think so. He ever came and he never criticized his wives.
Well, that's the most important sunnah. That when you come home, don't pressurize the woman. Where's my tea? Where's my this? Where's my that? Where's my this? That's the most important sunnah to follow, where you don't put pressure on the ladies as though you make them feel.
We have spoken this on air, I can tell people that when Faizal comes from from his work, and we work from home.
Which
he
is from the
come-
next room.
next room, he starts picking up things, and that's why I don't pick up things, because I know Faisal is gonna come and pick up things.
I don't remember this being ever said
Okay.
before. Right. So now
But you see, I'm doing you a favor.
Really?
Me and children, we're messing things up for you to come up and pick up.
What they say, do me no favors. Okay, next point, please.
Okay. Another one was when you confide in someone else.
Now, this unfortunately is a problem in society, and I can't blame anybody or fault anybody, because sometimes the husband and wife have become so distant that they don't talk anymore. Look, Molana said it that your wife should be your best friend. You should have a close, transparent relationship, but because sometimes you'll have drifted apart because of kids, work, issues, and all of that, you can't talk to each other. Then suddenly now you start confiding in somebody else. Now, let's say, for instance, now the wife starts confiding in her cousin. Husband will get very angry. Why are you taking your secrets out? If he has to find out, he'll say, no, I don't want to talk to this cousin
But
anymore.
if there's sometimes it happens, okay, this is maybe a bad situation, but sometimes it happens that you are very close to this certain person in your life.
Mhm.
Then you are married, and I'm
Mhm.
sure you're supposed to be a best of friends. But
Mhm.
what happened is, now there's a new person, and I'm sure there's issues.
Mhm.
All right. And then with these issues, you sometimes cannot talk to the same person who's supposed to be your best friend, because maybe they'll get angry, maybe they're not responding the way you want them to respond. So you go back to who you knew.
Mm.
You go back to the person you knew, that, see, my husband or my wife, they're not responding, or they were very harsh with me, or I came home and I was just angry because I saw something and I didn't like it.
Yeah, so that's the thing now.
And you're too used to of confiding in that person.
But you see, that's the thing is now you're not sorting the situation out. So maybe you go and talk to that person who was a college friend of yours, or
Maybe your
perhaps
sister, maybe your brother.
cousin, sister, brother. But the husband might not like it because he'll say you're taking our stories out. So essentially, you have to be strong, get the energy from that person, and then come back and then talk to your husband and say, yes, we have an issue.
But then there's another point. When they are talking to your, like, let's say you're supposed to have your husband as your best friend, and you found something that he doesn't like, right? And then you go and talk to your husband.
Right.
But he's not responding. He's getting angry.
Well, that's the thing. If he's your best friend, you shouldn't get angry. Now, you think he's your best friend, but does he think he's your best friend?
That's where the issue is coming.
Because you can't just say, that's my car. Your name should be written on the documents, isn't it? And you should have the keys. I can't just look at the Lamborghini and say, Miss Man, that's my car. You know, then you say, okay, take us for a spin. That's what I'm going to say. Now, if you think your husband is your best friend, does he confide in you? Or you just tell him everything? Best friend means he must also tell you, and you must be strong enough to take
Does
it.
best friend mean not criticizing?
Yes.
Or criticizing when it's
Because tell
necessary?
me honestly, best friends don't criticize each other. They
But
enjoy
they
each other's
stop each
company.
other from issues.
They help each other, but they don't criticize. Criticize is when you are a peer, somebody above you, somebody is trying to teach you, somebody condescending,
Your
somebody
parents can criticize you.
authority. Yes. But loving parents will never criticize you. They'll say, I know you can do better than this. I know you are much better than this. So this is what is supposed to be the situation. What's your next point?
Okay, what about okay, this is, I think, almost everybody. You are glued to your phone all day.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. Okay.
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
There are the select few, such as myself, and I found some brothers that also have the same thing, that we hate cell phones because it's an uneasy situation, but it eats up too much of our time. We have become addicted to it. And before, at least we used to hear in the masjids, throw out the shaitan box. Shaitan. Now, everybody throw out the shaitan box. You know why? They found a smaller version.
Mini version.
Mini version, and it stays in your pocket. How is that?
And you can
And-
put on silent before going to
Oh
bed.
my God! Come on! I mean, those days we said, "Come home and watch TV." We are corrupting the children. Now we never hear those bayans anymore because Maulanas themselves have smartphones. Nobody carries the 200 phones that you buy from the supermarkets, where you can just send SMSs.
But it doesn't even matter if you're just sifting through the important work emails or texting your buddies. Spending excessive amount of time on your phone when you are in the company of a spouse, it's sending them a clear message that I could be spending my downtime with you, but I'd rather be on my phone.
Correct.
And then everybody needs the downtime, but these activities help people to decompress, but they become troublesome when they are substitutes of meaningful interaction with your wife or your husband.
In other words, you're robbing your spouse and yourself of time spent together. So naturally, what's happening is that the person is feeling aggrieved. You can't take something away from somebody and say, "What's the problem?
Okay, on the topic of that, we're talking about trust issues, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes they are important emails. Sometimes they are work that is supposed to be answered. What we should do in that
In
situation?
the olden days, the post office used to drop off the letters, and during working hours, we used to answer the letters. What is this email?
But your
email
boss
nonsense?
needs you right now.
No, this instant gratification rubbish. This is
But-
rubbish. Look, if it's an emergency, I understand, but emergency happens once in a while, once a week.
Okay, so another thing I'll tell your listeners, as I'm talking too much today, right, about us. In our house, after Faizal is done with his last client, we put the phones away. Sometimes people actually try to contact us, but the phones are in another room. All of our phones are in
Not
another
only
room.
on silent, but on another room.
Oh, the room. So sometimes people are trying to contact us, but sometimes it's hard. Then after an hour or so, we'll go check. Okay, nothing happened. But this is how this is the rule in our house. That what, when time to eat or after the last client, phones are just put away. Sometimes people are trying to contact you and it's an emergency. So what do you think about that? Because that's what confuses me.
What do you mean confuses you?
Like if somebody needs you so badly, something happened, but you just tired of the phone and you said, you know what? Just throw the phones away.
Well, you see, it's an intrusion. I
Mhm.
consider an intrusion because work is supposed to be from a certain time to a certain time. Now, if I'm going to carry on working, then you're going to say, Faisal, you're a workaholic and you love working.
Mhm.
So then that's not true. But now, if I want to keep the phone with me, then people are going to reach out to me. Now, Alhamdulillah, look, you know what? I am not an emergency therapist. Whatever the problem was, you had it for so many years. Inshallah, I promise you tomorrow morning I'll contact you. And I'll contact you as soon as it's reasonable for you and me. 9 o'clock, 9:30. I'll say, please, I'm so sorry I missed your call. But you had to reach out to me for some reason, but that was your emergency. And we'll attend to it. No problem. Don't worry. It's fine. It's not as if though somebody's gonna die or something like that. So that's how I look at it. Is that we
And also,
need to-
you're robbing your children, your family.
Yeah.
So if you can come home and you can pick up things with me, and you can help me, you can help children with their project.
you need to
And-
be emotionally and physically available, not only physically available, because physically available, the children will see you, but they can't talk to you. That's not right.
Okay, now this is very bad. But I'm going to talk. If you withhold your spouse financially.
Now, a lot of men do believe they can't trust their wives. They keep the account secretive. They don't tell their wives how much they earn. Secondly, some men don't give access to the wives to the accounts. So there's no trust there because he's worried now she might now spend the money, give the money to her family, frivolously demand things. Why can't we go on a holiday? You got so much money in your account. I'm collecting for us to buy a house. I'm collecting for our Hajj. You know what I mean? It's become an important thing now that we need to go for Hajj. Maybe I'm saving for Umrah. I need to pay the school fees. So you need to communicate. But sometimes men says, you know what, I can't talk to her, so I'd rather hide from her.
So lack of transparency in this area leads
Mhm.
to minimum trust, where you no longer feel like you're a part of a team.
Now that's how she'll feel. But this has to be spoken about and say, see, if I show you how much in there, then all your eyes pop out and say, you're telling me I must make the groceries last. But look at how much money in your account. Yes, the groceries have to last. That's why we got this amount of money. So we were being careful, we were being thrifty. So now I've saved up enough money, alhamdulillah, so we can go for Hajj.
We think it's men, but sometimes we have seen this in our rooms that even ladies that working, and I don't think so men has a right on their money, but men don't know what they're doing with their money. But the wives, what are they doing with their money? Is it okay for a woman to at least tell her husband that, see, I earn that much and
I don't
maybe
think
I
it's okay.
save? It's okay. Okay.
I don't think it's okay. I think we should be talking to one another because two heads are always better than one. But you have a relationship where he will start now looking at your money and saying, oh, very good. Now, you know what you do? You start paying the electricity bill from now.
Should she?
No.
Okay. But if she wants to help him,
If she wants to do it, alhamdulillah, that means he's a very good husband and she feels for him. But
the
if he's the one
relationship
always
should
swearing
be-
and fighting,
yeah.
then she'll say, no, I won't want to do it. So it depends how you treat your wife. And if you treat your wife nicely, she'll naturally want to say, the money is sitting in my account doing nothing. What good is it? I'd rather help my husband and get that strain or that, that wrinkle on his brow because he's always thinking and worrying about how he's going to pay the bill. He pays one bill and there's another bill waiting. She'll feel sorry towards him if he's very nice towards her. So if she's working and she wants
and
to
he
do
has paid for a certain amount of time, maybe
Yeah.
2 years, 3 years, when she wasn't working and he was picking up everything.
trick is to work as a team.
Hmm.
That's an important thing.
Trust
so
is very
financial secrecy, not on. It breaks trust.
What about when you spend a lot of time with your friends, but then with your spouse?
Would you like it if I spoke to my friend every day?
For 5 minutes, I don't mind.
No, we talk for about an hour or so.
I won't say mind. I know you won't do that, but
See, I won't do that.
I
See?
won't do that.
I won't do that. See, it's very simple, right? The wife wants ownership. She doesn't want to share with anybody else, but she puts a stone in her heart and say, okay, never mind. You can talk to your sister. You can visit your mother. You can talk to your friend. But
If
would
I'm
they-
involved in your life, where I know that you're not talking or saying anything where it's wrong. You're not
no,
doing
it's not wrong. You're just talking. But you always feel as if though, does he love me more than everybody else? Now, that kind of love, that pure love that is wanted, there's nothing wrong with that. Because remember, Allah Pak wants us to love us completely, come into Deen completely. Allah Pak does not want us to look at him in any other way besides the complete creator, beloved of his creation. Then we talk about Rasulullah Pak, who told the Sahabas that if you don't love me more than your parents, more than your children, more than your possessions, more than yourself, your iman is incomplete. I think that's what the ulama tell us all the time. So yeah, it's supposed to be a complete situation. So the wife also feels the same way. Like when you tell your child, I love you, my baby, you are the best in the world, I will do anything for you. The child feels so special. Now obviously you can't do that when they get a little bit into the teenage years, because then they start going crazy and want iPhone 16 from you, right? Which you can't afford for yourself.
iPhone
But
16 are old, you know that. Now
Oh,
new
sorry.
iPhones are coming.
They're coming, but at the moment, which one is it?
I don't know. I haven't bought yet.
Okay, so that tells us how we value those phones, right? We don't know what's going on. We're happy with the simpler of situations. Anyway, so let's talk about now a good situation about our sponsor of the show, that is now Lifestyle Home and Ratio Cafe. So last week we told you a lot of things. This week we need to talk to them because there's a lot to talk about. So there's something I noticed there, Misbah. There's those chairs that they have there. So it's kind of like, you know those stools that you have in a corner.
Mhm.
So these amazing stools, they're made out of chrome and they got like a leather top, but apparently they're very, very neat looking. They're very classy looking,
Okay.
right? And from what they've told us at the store, these things last you like 10, 15 years.
Oh, okay.
They last very, very long. And they had them custom made. So I was just wondering, and I looked around, and for something that can be invested in, and you know what, like you got people coming over maybe by the Brai area.
Mhm.
So instead of
You
buying
always
those
need those
20 rand
extra chairs,
chairs
yeah.
that we buy from the
Mhm.
local supermarket, those plastic things that usually break, these ones are a little bit classy. But you must remember now you're investing for a very long time, and they got chrome on them. So
You
it's-
can add it to your trestle
yeah,
table.
so it's something that I had a look at, and it really is smart looking. So it's a lifetime investment, right? And you can buy 10 or so and all that. But I promise you, when people come home, they will be impressed with how it is. So that's something that I looked at. And also, the savories and the meat selection. I was taking a walk around when we went there, and you were ordering. So the savory selection is really, really complete.
Yeah.
It's like
So if you have guests over, or even just if you want to have a good weekend, or you don't know what to cook, you can just take out those savories and
Just
you can heat it and you can just serve
eat
them.
and eat, and
Eat and eat.
yeah, just pop in
Make
there.
your life easy. by doing
So aside from the amazing deli that they have there, which is the Ratio Cafe, which serves those amazing things, and I saw a board about the paratha burger. Okay, did I say night this time?
that.
The
Yeah,
paratha burger. It was
Tasty
outside there.
paratha burger.
The tasty paratha burger. Oh my God, I was really thrown away from that. That was really something nice. It was
So
really
if
tasty.
you and your spouse are friends, so as friends, go there, order something,
And share the
and
paratha
share.
burger.
Okay, share the order your own.
Why order your own? It's not supposed to fill your stomach.
As if you're supposed to have your own burger, isn't?
Yeah.
And your fiance is supposed to have her own
That
burger.
is so selfish.
No.
But you still buy things.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Just for
You
the
gotta
taste.
you gotta see what the other person, because otherwise the curiosity will get to you. So you have to eat what the other person ate, right? I mean, it's not like you have unhygienic
And I like
ways.
that the environment. The environment was very relaxed, very calm,
Mm.
and
Everybody's quite chill. Even
it was-
like the car guards, they're not exactly car guards, but they direct the traffic. They're also a bit chill, relaxed. Everybody's smiling. There's no tension and stress because there's nice bathrooms nearby. There's a musalla there
Musalla
nearby.
area, yeah.
So everything is cool. So if
It's
you
very
just
Islamic environment.
overeat or overextend your stay, then you can just go over, read your namaz, it's sorted. So,
Yeah.
like I said, Lifestyle Home, fantastic place to be.
And
Any-
try Ratio Coffee.
And Ratio
Cafe,
Cafe.
Okay, we don't have much time. Can I just read this message fast?
Okay, go for
Salams
it.
to most awesome, inspiring couple, being married for almost 42 years, lots of sacrifice and then lots of heartaches. I still say you got to have a careful balance and take your issues to your mashallah, to musalla, sorry, take your issues to your musalla, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have come to understand and realize your du'as never go unnoticed. I am very content on how my hubby has changed. More compassion, more capable of great wisdom of listening and giving humility. And alhamdulillah, our journey has become a much better one. Sometimes being quiet and respecting and honor and open doors of lot of barakah in your nikah. Alhamdulillah, it is very mashallah. These days we can sit down and speak about anything and not fear that he's going to be angry. It's a much better place nowadays. Shukr alhamdulillah, jazakallah for the super program. Today, our love is so beautiful. Sitting down with and reading our Quran Kareem and Salah and talking about our kids is so heartwarming. I value the simple things.
Well, the Musalla gave you the strength. Allah gave you the strength for you to continue and persevere. The problem is nowadays, a lot of people are not as strong as you. Allah Pak make us all as strong as you are. But
Because she says she enjoys and she values simple things.
yeah, but there was a time where you couldn't quit, but it was very hard. Now the options of quitting marriages is very high. And what we're talking about trust today, trust does break the fabric of love. So if the spouses don't believe that they don't trust that their spouse has their best interest at heart, they want to separate. The expectation of marriage is very high. Your expectation of marriage was survive. You can't leave your post. Your kids need you. Nowadays they say, you know what, my kids will be better off if we separate because we're fighting too much. Who came up with that? You know, I'd like to meet the person who came up with that story where they said you'd rather separate because you're damaging the
Western
children.
philosophy.
That Westerner, whoever came up with it, you know, I don't know when I'm going to meet that person, but if I ever do, I'll ask him, did you not ever consider the aftermath of divorce?
But you know, a lot of ladies do
children.
agree with that. A lot of people do agree with that.
Because you look at the instant gratification. Yes, he's out of your life and you're very happy, but you're going to feel betrayed. Then he's going to move on. And how are you supposed to
Let
move
me tell
on?
you, a lot of people post on Facebook of how happy they are
There we
after
go.
they go.
Social media. I warned everybody about this. I warned everybody about this. Please don't do that. Don't compare our lives to anybody else. See, all I'm saying is divorce should be taken, that step should be taken if it's beyond repair. Now, if somebody has tried to repair it, tried their best to repair it, like means you don't just die. You go to the hospital, you take every medication, every treatment, experimental, herbal life, whatever you want to do, you take it. And then after that you die, then it was taqdeer to die. But Allah Pak has placed this upon us and Rasulullah Pak told it's a sunnah to medicate. So yeah, if there's an issue, please, 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 please look for help. But this thing about divorce,
But now when we're talking about social media and all, right, there's another issue that brings up a lot of issues, and basically it's a form of trust issue, and that's when you rant about your spouse to others.
Now you see, that's the thing. You rant about your spouse in your head, then you find somebody to talk to him about, and that's going to be a serious breach of
And
trust.
you went up to your friends
Because
or
nobody's
about your
perfect
spouse.
now. Now imagine you go to that friend and rant about your own problems. You know what? I'm lazy. I'm stupid. Right? I can't do things on time. Right? I'm tardy. Right? My mother used to always complain about me. Why we don't do that? But now we'll talk about our spouse. Oh, you know what? I've been starving recently. I don't know what's wrong with her. She don't want to cook. My husband, he don't take me anywhere.
But that's the nastiest thing when you go to somebody else's house and say, "Oh, my wife doesn't cook like you. Or your wife cooks so nice.
No,
or
that's
my
a
mommy
different
cooks so-"
story altogether. Oh my God. Then she'll tell him, you know what? Please have another place set at your table because he'll be joining you all for supper tonight. Remember, in the plate you eat, you don't spit.
Yeah.
She is cooking for you. If you don't like what she's cooking, then what you do, go eat somewhere else. And then you'll see how hard it is, because a guest is one day, is not every day. And nobody's going to
But
take
you
you
don't
on.
know the person that you're complaining to, what's their life's issues, what they're going through.
Take time, ask her. Find out what she's going through. Take time, ask him. Ask him what's going on in his head. The problem is nowadays we just assume things that everything is okay. We don't have the mental capacity to handle if something goes wrong. The people of the past, 50, 60 years ago, our grandparents and all, they had a lot more inner strength. They were able to tackle issues.
They
with
forgave a
more-
lot.
They forgave a lot. They were softer people because they were much more humble. There wasn't so much of materialism.
I
that
know
time.
it's reminding me of a story I read somewhere about Imam Hassan Raziallahu anhu. I don't know how the story goes, but one brother wanted to divorce his wife or something, and the other brother asked that why you divorcing, and he said, I can't tell you bad about my wife, and faults of her. And when he ended up divorcing, then he asked, okay, now tell me what was the problem. So he said, if I'll tell you her faults, then she won't be able to maybe get married again. So it's wrong of me to give up. But that's how my point is. That's how dignified people.
So maybe
were.
we make a mistake. Please forgive
Please
us.
make a mistake because my story is, but something like
but the
that.
point is very valid that if you're going to talk bad about her, it's not becoming of a husband or
Or a
a
dignified
wife.
man as well.
Yeah. So if you're going to talk to somebody about your problems, talk to Allah Pak. And if you're going to talk to somebody who you know that will give you good advice to go forward. It's
Will
no
guide you.
Will guide you.
Professionals.
And sometimes, we'll tell you that, yes, you're looking at the one problem that maybe he doesn't spend enough time. But I'll answer this question is, why does he work so hard? He's working hard for you.
Another one is you stonewall your spouse.
Oy, 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 oy,
Becoming defensive
That's
and
not breaking
withdrawing
of
from
trust.
an
That's
interaction.
that breaking the person, because that is a level of disrespect that is terrible.
That's our cue, I think.
That's our cue.
So what did we learn today? Work towards the issues.
Work towards the issues. And if you have distrust in your marriage, sort it out. It's very hard sleeping on a bed of nails every day. It's not good. Seriously, not good. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for tolerating us. And inshallah, we'll be back next week with another show. I don't know if we're going to do any more trust because I think we've
But there's a
got our
lot
point
to
across.
discuss.
But I think we've got our point across. Maybe we'll do something a little bit more exciting.
Please send us any suggestions if you have.
Remember, if you are thinking about divorcing, please give me a call. We'll talk you out of it, because you know what? Consider your options before you get divorced, because it mustn't hit you like a ton of bricks. But like I said, thank you so much for being with us. And inshallah, we will be back next week with another amazing show. Remember, brought to you by Lifestyle Home and Ratio Cafe, 311 Wars Road. Please pop in and have a visit.
Why don't we do this? They'll try something new and let us know next week.
Why not? Why not? Who knows? We might even organize you a voucher.
Sure, yeah.
Inshallah.
Let us know what's new there.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, this is Faizal C. Joosab and Miss Paiman Joosab.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
बैठा मैं अपना सर झुका
Dil Badal Day is proudly brought to you by Lifestyle Food and Home, your elite culinary destination.
खुदाया फजल फरमा दिल बदल दे या मौला मौला या तेरा हो जाऊं इतनी आरज़ू है या बस इतनी है तमन्ना दिल बदल दे या तेरा हो जाऊं इतनी आरज़ू है या बस इतनी है तमन्ना बदल दे या बड़ा तेरे दर पर दिल शिकस्ता